Morning baseball fans. It is Sunday, January 14th, and we're gonna kick it off, Kelsey. We're gonna kick it off with a debate.
I'm ready.
Bright, I say bright and early, like it's not that bright or early,
It
but
is
whatever.
it is for a Sunday. I feel like Sunday is just kind of a slower start to the day. It is for me anyway. It's the one day
Okay,
that I don't really you're like,
no,
no,
I got
8-year-olds in the
I got
house.
children. No, I stumbled out of bed at like 8, and my girls were like, "What are you doing up, mom?" I don't know. Maybe I'm awake because of all of the slamming of the doors and the screaming. Could that be? And they're like, "Oh." Anyways, so, we're gonna kick it off with the rated R warning first because that's what we have to do. Rated R warning, for the all of the adult content, people.
Just
Not that
exclusively for
yeah,
language.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No spicy links here. Because I cannot say the place where you can get those spicy links at because
Oh,
n
yeah,
all
no.
of the things come with the ads now, and I'm all, "No, thank you. I don't not a thing."
No
Currently
spicy
making
links, just
mm-mm,
spicy takes
just
here.
spicy takes, yes. Okay, so, Kelsey, before we started recording, you told me that you had eaten eggs and, like, waffles and deliciousness, but the
Yes.
bacon wasn't ready,
Yes.
and then your husband encouraged you to eat the bacon on air, which I will never discourage eating bacon on air. However, we may have to fight on how you take your bacon. So depending on how you take your bacon, we will discuss more.
What are the different ways you can take your bacon? Like,
Like
you mean like the
cook
level of cookedness?
yes, yes. I was like, I don't know what debate we're having here, Kelsey. Like that's again, we
Well,
said no spicy links here. So that's again, we
so
said adult
actually
content language.
the reason it wasn't ready was because he did take it out of the oven and it was like, it hadn't crisped up at all. And we like it
Oh,
just a
okay.
little crispy. Not like
Oh.
burnt crispy, but like just a little, just that right level of crispy. Kind of the same way that like when you're roasting a marshmallow, you
Uh-huh.
want it just like lightly browned for your s'more.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is that
I
is that the wrong answer?
yes.
You want it like fully
Full
done?
full on, I want it I want it to be a fucking, like, charcoal briquette, okay? Like, my whenever we go places, and I order bacon, I have to ask, I'm like, "Okay, but I need it, like, super extra crispy." And they're like, "Okay." I'm all, "No, no, no, like, super extra crispy, like, when the cook says, 'No, this is too burnt, I cannot serve this to people,' then you bring it to me." That's when I need you to bring me the bacon. And my husband is
Yeah.
just like, "Absolutely not. No, no, Susie, that's not a thing that we can do." I'm all, "I no." And I go, "How do you like your bacon?" And he goes, "That." And again, I told you guys that this is gonna be rated our podcast for all of the adult language, maybe a little bit for the adult content, humor because like, I don't understand how people are over here eating bacon like limp dicks because it's just not a thing that I can
It
do. Like, when you
does have
pick up
that
the bacon,
consistency, doesn't it?
if it,
Mhm.
like, wiggles, no
Oh,
thank you.
yeah, no.
Absolutely not.
No. You've
Absolutely not.
now ruined bacon for so many people. I will say, yes, I completely agree that I would rather have it, like, burnt, overdone,
Okay.
per se, than limp dick bacon.
Okay,
I
thank you.
completely agree.
Yes. I
I
I knew I
support
I knew I
you.
chose the correct co-host. I knew it. I knew it.
I
'Cause
can stay.
yeah, yeah. Congrats, Kels, congrats. You passed the test. You passed the test.
Whew, another week down.
I knew that that was going to be a concern in your life, so I'm glad that you can, hang around
Yeah, I'm glad we
and,
got it out of the way early in the morning so I can just
mhm.
let the stress of that go.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, nobody knew that we were gonna be talking about limp dick bacon,
This
but
was my
here it is.
arbitration case, and there was no in between. There is no in between bacon.
This is true.
We have
Ah,
to settle one way or the other,
this is
and the
true.
verdict is out, so
All very true things, Kels, all very true things. Yeah, I'm not prepared for this polar vortex. Like, you look very cozy and comfy right now, and I love how cozy and
yeah.
comfy you look right now.
No, the ultimate version of, like, cozy and comfy for me is wearing my husband's clothes. So I am wearing my husband's flannel. The hat is mine, of course, but yeah, I don't know. There's something about just where he also like has so many flannels and I don't really have any and I love them. So that is, yeah, that's the way to get ultimately comfy and cozy. And it
That's true.
is, I believe the real feel is like -20 here right now where I'm at in Chicago. So I know around the country it is rough. But I mean, Susie, what's it like there in Houston? Because it sounds like you guys got it really bad.
Not yet, not yet. It's as of right now, uh, um, as of right now, it's 47 degrees.
So you're
47.
hurting. You're hurting over there.
I actually am. I am actually chilly. I I have I don't have, I am of the we don't turn on our heater, like, in our house, like, the
Mm,
overall. It just whatever room you're in, we just turn on a space heater because that's it's whatever room you're in. And so, we have a space heater going in, like, in our main room, but tonight, the low is 43. Tomorrow, the low is 33. Tuesday, the high is only gonna be 41 and the low is going to be 26.
ooh.
And everyone laughs at the Texans and at the Southern people that are like, "It's so cold, blah, blah." We're not set up. We're not I don't think you guys understand, we're not set up for the cold.
Yeah, I was, the last time I think it was the last time that it was that cold there, it would have been in 2020, I think. Was it in 2020 when you guys had, like, ice and snow and craziness,
N
or was it 21? Maybe it
no,
was 21.
it was like last year. We had a huge freeze last year.
Okay, well,
Like
there was some other time, like, 2 or 3 years ago where you it must have been 3 years ago, so maybe 21. Yeah,
mm,
because it's 2024. Ah, anyway, yeah, so I think it was in 21 around this time of year that y'all had some inclement weather where it was like snow and ice it was the first time it had happened in quite a while.
yeah,
And many things were shut down. And anyway, I was helping to oversee some fitness studios in the Dallas Fort Worth area during that time. And I remember just being like, what do you mean? That's what I learned all
yeah,
about that. Like, what do you mean you don't have de-icer? Like, how can the lock be stuck? Just
yeah.
pull your de-icer that you keep in your pocket, like out. It's January.
I'm like, "What words are you saying right now? Like, what the what's a de-icer?" Like, I don't know these things. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm all, I and Dallas Fort Worth area actually gets colder than us down here because they are
Yeah.
technically further north because, Southern Oklahoma. And so when it gets that cold down here, and when I say down here, we are literally like 15 minutes from the beach.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
Cool.
like it's not a pretty beach. Don't get it twisted. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, the beach." No, no, no. It's gross and
Well,
not.
we have a beach that we're close to here too. That is not, yeah. I feel you.
Yeah. So, it's not any sort of good thing, but, like, I'm like, "No, no, no, that's why I put up with the ridiculous humidity and the 9-foot mosquitoes so that I don't ever have to deal with 43 different layers of clothing." That's
Yeah,
what I don't no, thank you, I don't wanna do any of that.
it's rough. It's rough. You really gotta plan ahead over here.
Yeah, I don't know. How many layers is the most layers that you've ever put on?
Oh gosh. I mean, I have no idea. I'm trying to think at the times I have waited out in the cold. There was a time like in my high school and maybe even college years where there is a thing called like rush tickets that you can get when
Uh-huh,
you're a student for like Broadway shows.
uh-huh.
And so both in Chicago and some in I don't think I ever did it when it was super cold in New York, but downtown Chicago where most of the theaters are is also right by the lake. So it's even colder and you get like
Ah,
the lake effect, the wind chill
right.
is really bad down there. So I want to say those are probably some of the coldest times that I've like you have to stand outside and wait for the box office to open because they only have them for like the first 10 people in line or something. Um, and then I also have been to a number of games at Wrigley Field here in April because not anymore since they've changed up the schedule, but the Cardinals always used to come here like the first or second weekend in April.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, yeah, no, it's not above freezing here that time of year. So I was actually just looking at a picture that I posted on Twitter of me and my friend Wes on April 17th, I think it was 2018. And it says on my little, Instagram how you pull up the temperature and you add it in there. I did that and it says it's 33 degrees, but that probably means that the real feel is like maybe 10 at Wrigley because it's not far from the lake at all. So it's getting that same feel that you would get downtown in the Loop. And yeah, I'm definitely I have my jersey on like over like an Eskimo parka coat situation. But I'm sure
No,
I have like a long sleeve like Under Armour shirt and a hoodie at the very least underneath it as well.
no, no, none of that. None of
2 or 3
that.
pairs of gloves, 2 or 3 pairs of socks. Got to have those Sorel snow boots. There's just certain things you have to own.
But what words are you saying right now? I don't even know what words you're saying right now.
It's an
No.
investment.
No, absolutely not. No.
You should you get off the plane in Chicago and if you're moving here, you absolutely it should be like part of the taxes that you're paying to live in Chicago. You should receive a knee length parka,
Oh my god. No, absolutely
down
not.
parka. Yeah.
No, no. And this really is all it has all come about because I have watched foosball on TV, and that stupid Kansas City Chiefs Dolphins game
Oh my gosh,
where
it hurt to watch that.
I Andy Reid literally
So gross.
had snotsicles,
So gross.
snot icicles on his mustache. No, just no. How do your eyeballs not freeze open? I
I
don't
know.
understand.
I think it was the Dolphins head coach. I don't know because I was like half watching it. I will never be a football fan, but my husband is. And considering how many hours of baseball he watches with me, I feel like I can at least hang out with him, on and off throughout a football game here and there. So I had it on. I'm not sure if it was the Dolphins head coach, but I think it was. His like nose was bright red and he kept like pulling down his little mouth cover just to talk. And I was like, that man, it hurts to look at his face. He's so cold. Like, yes, the eyeballs. I didn't even think about that. Like, how
Like
are your eyes not watering
I
constantly and
don't
then freezing
understand.
on your face?
I don't all of it I don't understand, and I literally put on Twitter yesterday that there's no way, no how that I don't care if it was like the last World Series game, ALC, like
Yeah.
I don't care. You will not catch me at a game if it is that cold. I get cold when it's like below 70 degrees. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not.
We were
No.
talking about that last night too, and I asked my husband, I said, "What would you like if this was, a Super Bowl game or if, it was like a really rare opportunity that you got to go to a really exciting game and you really wanted to go, like would you be there?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I would be there." I'm like, and then I said, "I don't think I would not go to a Cardinals World Series game if it was under 20 degrees. Like 20 degrees is like the cutoff for me." Like the actual physical temperature.
No, absolutely not. No.
Because
I
I
don't
went to that 33-degree game where I'm telling you, I'm sure the real feel was significantly less than that. But no, I would draw the line at this kind of weather because it's just painful and it can be really dangerous. So that's why I thought obviously they took all kinds of preventative measures, whatever they could to protect the players and stuff yesterday. But
No, when you are literally getting a bottle of water out of the refrigerator
yes,
and then it automatically just starts freezing, that is the temperature that you stay inside. You stay inside. You don't go nowhere.
paid $15 for a Bush Light and it just explodes in your hand. Can you imagine?
My no,
A Bush Light.
my brain exploded. All of that, my brain exploded.
Mm.
No, no, thank you.
Well, we're gonna stay here with our warm cups of coffee in our cozy studios
Yeah, yeah.
and
So
dream of spring training.
we're gonna dream of spring training, but first, Kels, we're gonna talk about our 40-man finds.
Yeah,
40-man
yeah.
finds. If you guys are new around here, our 40-man finds are those guys who obviously are on the 40-man roster, may not be one of the superstars, may not be one of the starting nine, but is there gonna get a shot at some point in time, hopefully. When we were coming up with names for this, thankfully Kelsey came up with a way better name for this segment.
I don't know if it's
As
better, but it's maybe more appropriate.
I I don't know. I think maybe at some point we will go with Diamond Daddies, and that's gonna be a whole other segment,
We'll
though.
get a whole new slew of listeners.
Yeah. Um, but so we are doing the NL and the AL, and we split it up to where we can figure out and learn new things because, we're all about learning here. So Kelsey has the AL and I have the NL. And Kels, why don't you tell us who your American League 40-man find is?
Yeah, well, we are going from teams with the worst record to the best records, and we're getting towards the middle here. So this week, I had the task of finding a 40-man from the Red Sox roster, and I'm going to go with Bobby Dalbec, who you may or may not know about. I actually only know of him because last Valentine's Day, so almost a year ago, I did an episode of my podcast, Peace, Love, and Baseball, and we called it the top 10 dreamiest dudes. And I did a draft with my fellow Cardinals fan Sarah at SarahAnn1212 on Twitter. Shout out Sarah for all of her great content and contribution there. But we each drafted 10 players that we thought were like the hottest players currently in Major League Baseball. And Bobby Dalbec was on my list. I did not know anything about him other than I was like, you look good on the field. Well, now I'm here to learn a little bit more about him because I do care, Bobby. His full name is Robert Vernon Dalbec, and he was born on June 29th, 1995, and he was born in Seattle, Washington. Sounds like he spent most of his childhood there because he is a Mariners and a Seahawks fan, but he actually went to high school in Parker, Colorado, where he was a pitcher and a shortstop. Hello, two-way
Oh,
player.
all
He also
right.
played on his high school basketball team. And according to the Arizona Daily Star, he was not selected in the MLB draft out of high school due to his strong commitment to play for the University of Arizona. So he entered
Okay,
college.
Wildcat.
Yeah, he entered college as a third baseman, a first baseman, and a relief pitcher. So if you're keeping track, he has now played four positions. I guess really five if you consider like maybe he was a starting pitcher in high school. Not really sure. Anyway, he played collegiate summer ball for the Orleans Firebirds in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and he participated in their all-star home run hitting contest. And he also played in the 2016 College World Series with the Arizona Wildcats. He was drafted by the Red Sox in the fourth round of the 2016 Major League Baseball draft out of college then. He had a $650,000 signing bonus. And he came in hot offensively with the Class A Lowell Spinners of Lowell,
Ooh.
Massachusetts, who are actually not around anymore as of 2020. But he spent the whole season there in 2017, and he posted a 386 batting average slash 427, 674 with 7 home runs and 33 RBIs in only 34 games. So pretty awesome start to his professional career. In 2018, Dalbec started the season with the Salem Red Sox, which is the high A Advanced Carolina League for the Red Sox. And in 100 games with Salem, he slashed 256, 372, 573, while leading the league with 26 home runs and 85 RBIs in 344 at-bats. So keeping that momentum offensively as he moves up the ranks. He was then promoted to the Portland Sea Dogs, which is another team I'm not sure I knew existed, the Double-A Eastern League, on August 3rd of that season. Bobby was actually named the Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in 2018 for the minor league awards for the Red Sox. So pretty cool. He's getting noticed very quickly here. He also won the Carolina League Most Valuable Player Award, MVP. After the regular season, he played as part of the Mesa Solar Sox. That's a cool name, the Solar Sox, as part of the Arizona Fall League. So the Arizona Fall League, maybe we can talk more about that sometime, or maybe you have before, but it is often kind of an indicator of some up-and-coming players through the minor league system. In 2019, Dalbec began the season back with the Sea Dogs in Portland, and he was promoted to the Pawtucket Red Sox, which is their Triple-A team,
Ooh.
in August. Overall, during 2019, he slashed 239, 356, 460 with 27 home runs and 73 RBIs in 135 games. So making that adjustment to AAA may be a little trickier for him. but here he comes. He was also selected this year for the United States national team as the first baseman. So nice little accolade to add to his resume there. This is the year at the end of 2019, he is added to the 40-man roster for the Red Sox, I assume to protect him from being claimed off waivers. So he was assigned to AAA to start the 2020 season. And on August 30th, Dalbec was added to Boston's active roster following the trade of Mitch Moreland. So they traded away Mitch Moreland for the trade deadline. Dalbec's getting his chance. He made his major league debut the next day against the Washington Nationals, and his first major league hit was a third inning home run. All these guys where their first major league hits are home runs, coming in his second major league at bat. Through his first 10 major league games, he hit 6 home runs, including 5 straight games with a home run. I think that's where he was like on my radar to begin with. During the shortened 2020 Red Sox season, he batted .263 with 8 home runs and 16 RBIs in 23 games. Following the 2020 season, he was ranked by Baseball America as the Red Sox number 3 prospect.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Red Sox named him their starting first baseman for opening day in 2021. And on July 29th, this is so random, he became the tallest player to make an appearance at shortstop for the Red Sox. So he's still bouncing around, even though he is he's named their starting first baseman. I actually don't have the stats on like how many games he's played overall at positions for them, but it's not like he hasn't played a ton more first base than all of the other positions he can play. He has definitely continued to get bopped around. So during August, he batted .339 with 7 home runs and 21 RBIs, and he was named the AL Rookie of the Month in August of 2021. For the regular season, he played in 133 games for the Red Sox, batted .240 overall with 25 home runs and 78 RBIs. Now, he starts 2020 as the primary first baseman, but he has some offensive struggles and eventually is optioned to AAA. He ended up back with the big league team when Trevor Story was injured. So lucky for them, he's still around and he's still so versatile. And after playing 117 games with Red Sox in 2022 and 130 in 2021, he played only 21 games with the big league club in 2023. I thought this was interesting because he was relatively successful offensively in AAA throughout 2023. And I think he just couldn't find the consistency when he came up in, but like, of course he can't. He played in 21 games.
Yeah.
So, and he's playing at all these different positions, which is another thing that I think is easy to take for granted. Hello, Tommy Edmond truthers. We're going to get there. But that is just a whole nother element that like, if that's what he's able to do for you, like that's his primary skill set, that's what he's given to you. And that's what he's focusing on, is being able to show up and play wherever you need him and not I mean, there's guys who will literally sign with one team over the other because they want to have that consistency of like, I'm going to be your starting shortstop every day, or I'm going to be your starting third baseman. I mean, we've heard about it recently with some of these, Carlos Correa and Xander Bogaerts, for example. So the fact that, I mean, they get to a point in their career where they kind of maybe have the ability to do that. Bobby Dalbec is not there, but there's a reason for that. And the reason is they're able to be more successful overall. And I don't think that's a secret, but yeah, I'm a little like defensive of Bobby Dalbec here of not getting more playing time in 2023.
Yeah, there was some issues. Well, okay. So obviously there's not really a quote unquote spot for Bobby D.
Sure.
And not gonna lie, in my head, I get Bobby Dalbec and Tristan Casas confused in my head
Yes.
all of the time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, which one is which again? So but I want to say that there was some not things, but like I guess he wanted to go play for Team USA, the World Baseball Classic, but then they would like, oh, but maybe you should go work out some more. And so there was some like issues there, and there was obviously the Red Sox are not in the best of clubhouse shape either, and so there was some things with like where he's gonna play, like how often he was gonna play, and I guess that there was some like attitude, I guess. So
I'll have to dig into that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he fits in.
It's
This
difficult,
upcoming
right?
season.
Because timing is everything with all of us. It's the same in any job, whether you're a professional athlete. I've certainly experienced this as an actor or in an office job where you're trying to rise the ranks. Like so much of it is timing in terms of opportunity and how you're utilized by the company to be able to show your strengths. So that's another thing that like we see guys all the time where you're like they were so mismanaged by their team and
Right.
that's why sometimes they end up having success they never would have had otherwise when they get traded away or whatever. So I kind of assumed it could be that sort of a case, but hard to tell. So while there has been speculation that Dalbec could be valued as, a pretty valuable trade piece for the Red Sox this offseason, Alex Cora was interviewed in late December by Greg Dudek at NESN.com. And he said that the Red Sox will likely plan to use Dalbec as a utility player to back up Tristan Casas
Mhm.
at first and like possibly even platoon him because he hits well against lefties, especially compared to Casas. And since he can't play third and outfield, like he can fill a number of roles and needs. And then Red Sox Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow is quoted saying, "The versatility is incredibly valuable and he balances out the lineup a little bit and he hits the ball really hard. I think he had a track record of success in the minor leagues and typically really strong upper level minor league performance is indicative of major league performance at some point." Genius, Craig.
Right.
We have to figure out how to identify the right runway because those underlying characteristics are real. So right there, he's saying like we got to figure out the right way to elevate his talent because the way that he's utilized is going to
Right.
play that. So good call out there, Craig. I knew it.
Right.
I'm right here.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see like where they go with Bobby D because I know that like Red Sox fans there's a split in like Red Sox fans of like
Yeah.
which
Tell us, Red
way they
Sox.
want
I
to
would
go.
love to
Yeah.
hear from Red Sox fans on opinion of him because, yeah, as a fan base, like you have a totally different perception and like watching him play every day and, hearing interviews, reading every little thing that there is out there. And I'm just taking a high level look. So that would be fun to hear
Yeah.
what they think. The one cool thing that I want to tell everybody about to wrap up my highlight on Bobby D today is that according to an article by Christopher Smith on masslive.com, Bobby grew up in a musical family, which is something that as a musician
Oh,
myself, I think is pretty cool. In fact, his parents actually met working at a Seattle radio station, and his dad, Tim Dalbec, is a drummer and he is vice president of promotions at Atlantic Records. So Dalbec bought his
wow.
dad an electric drum kit, like a fancy schmancy one, when he initially signed with the Red Sox after being drafted in the 4th round in 2016. And his dad then bought Bobby a Traveler guitar for Christmas in 2019. So Bobby is one of these annoying guys that it really drives me nuts. My dad and my brother are like this too, where he can play music by ear. How freaking annoying that he is a major league level talent and he can also play music by ear. He had picked up the piano in the previous offseason, as one does. So when the pandemic hit, he had some extra time on his hands and he decided, I'll just learn to play guitar because I'm Bobby Delbeck and I can. So he can play both piano and guitar by ear. And his teammate Kyle Hart said in an interview that Bobby would hang out in his hotel rooms most nights after the 2020 season because they can't go
Right.
out, can't do much. And he would play guitar. Hart said that Bobby learned a new song every day from John Mayer, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Pearl Jam, all those really easy
So
tunes to
so
just pluck in that guitar.
what you're telling me is that Bobby D pulls all of the girls. That's really what you're telling me.
Yeah, I think he landed right where he belonged on my top 10 dreamiest dudes list. That's what I'll say.
So, yeah, not only can the boy play ball, he also is a musician and can sing and will serenade you. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yes. Pretty unfair, but
Uh,
that's
our
him.
friend of the show, Aaron Rodgers, not that Aaron Rodgers, the other Aaron Rodgers, says foosball Susie is greater than baseball Susie. And
Mm,
Aaron, that hurts my heart
I'm
just a
gonna have
little
to
bit,
fight Aaron there.
just a
No.
little bit. And this is in reference to a comment that I had made on another friend's podcast. It's a Met show. Um,
Ugh.
and he says, by the way, I saw your comment on how much you would pay to see me in a do-rag. How much are we talking? And this is also obviously in reference to Mark Stroman signing the
Ah,
Yankees. Because
yes.
Aaron is a Yankees fan.
Oh, that's
Aaron is a
right.
Yankees fan.
He's our
And
favorite
so,
Yankees fan.
yeah, I don't This is like a truly honest question. Are do-rags part of the Yankees, like, policy? Like, is that allowed?
Oh, I feel like they have to be because that would be,
I don't
well,
I don't know.
I was just gonna say that would, come off a certain kind of way that maybe wouldn't be very respectful and inclusive, but that might be part of their thing. I'm not
I'm
gonna say anything else about that.
I truly want to know, like, so if you know these things,
Yeah,
please
Cashman, can you confirm?
drop them in the comments because I would actually love to know this. I don't know if that's part of your policy or not. I don't know.
Was there
So,
did I make this up, or was there a point in time where they didn't allow, like, visible tattoos?
I I
I
wanna
wouldn't
say
be
that that was an
surprised.
actual thing too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I worked at Starbucks right out of high school, and they didn't allow visible tattoos working at Starbucks back in it would have been like 2008, 2009. So we've come a long way.
We have.
but
We've come a very
but
long way.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a Yankees thing. That was one of the first things I thought of when he signed with them, because I'm a big fan of his big face neck tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get one like that of Adam Wainwright. That's what I keep saying. I'm sure my husband would love that. Uh, but
Do it for the content, Kelsey.
right, right. Can you imagine the amount of followers? I'd be
I
that
mean,
girl, that's
yeah,
for sure.
that would be delightful. Please and thank you. But yeah, so that's that. Erin, we appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on and commenting. If you're in the chat, feel free to drop all of the comments about what we're talking about, or if you have any questions, whatnot. But we are going to talk about my 40-man find over here for the San Francisco Giants. We are almost at winning records, guys. Almost,
Mm.
like so close, so close. But I think maybe next season the Giants are it because this guy I think is going to make a difference. Now, did I choose this guy because I am pandering and because he is Korean? Yes. All of the yes. Okay, just all of the yes. Is it Jung-Hoo Lee? Also, yes. So, if you are not aware that Jung-Hoo Lee is the San Francisco Giants' brand new starting center fielder, signed from the KBO. He is 25 years old and he's very tall. I say very tall, as in like he's tall for an Asian. He is 6'1", which is quite tall. Quite tall for the Asian. Aaron, we're good. This is why I should not have comments on when I'm trying to do these things because my
Look away.
ADHD is just Susie's team will get the first taste of Stroman opening weekend. Aaron, we're gonna fight. Anyhow. Back to Jung-Hoo Lee. Jung-Hoo Lee obviously was signed from the KBO to the San Francisco Giants, and in an interview, he had said that he was so excited to sign with the Giants because it was a very historic team, and I absolutely loved that. And side note, shout out to all of the Asian players doing their press interviews in English.
Amazing. Truly.
I can't even imagine going one having the athletic ability to do anything like that, but two, going to a foreign country and then in that language that is not my first language, obviously, doing like a whole press thing that just blows my mind. Also because I can't speak Korean very well either. Just good job for you.
Yeah, I
So
can't being bilingual in any way, shape, or form is crazy impressive, and then doing it on that public platform,
yeah.
I agree. It's really awesome.
So love all of that for him. But Jung-Hoo Lee is the son of one of the former NPB greats, and his father's nickname was Son of the Wind. So Jung-Hoo Lee nickname is Grandson of the Wind, and I just absolutely adore that. Um, as a child, Jung-Hoo Lee's dad said, "You know what? If you're gonna play baseball, you have to bat left-handed." That I was like, "I'm sorry, what now?" I heard that multiple times in random interviews and, so he had to bat left-handed, but he throws right-handed. Bats left, throws
Okay.
right. Love
Okay.
that. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Is that one of those, like, baseball things where you're, like a hotter commodity if you bat left. I guess so. But
my brother bats left and throws right-handed. I tried to teach myself to write with my left hand as a kid because I wanted to be different.
oh, okay.
Oh, maybe that's where his dad was coming from. He was like,
Mm,
You're gonna be, yeah, you're
maybe.
gonna give a
Maybe.
different value."
So, side note, he was born in Japan, and I was like, "Oh, so that means he has a Japanese nationality or citizenship." No, no, Japan doesn't do that. Mm-mm,
Huh.
no. If you are of Japanese descent, if one of your parents is actually Japanese, and then you were born in Japan,
Okay.
then you get citizenship. But if
Gotcha.
you are not Japanese descent and born in Japan, doesn't matter. You don't get Japanese citizenship. So, fun fact that I learned about that. But he was born in Japan, so because his dad obviously played in the NPB. And back to Jung Hoo Lee though. Jung Hoo Lee was the KBO Rookie of the Year in 2017. So fun fact, he never played in the farm system.
Whoa.
Played literally all of the games as soon as he was on opening day roster, and they said, "Here you go, 2017 Rookie of the Year." Literally played every single game.
Amazing.
And he was actually drafted as an infielder, and then they were like, "Mm-mm, nope, outfield you go." Opening day roster. I was like, "Oh, all right then."
Wow.
So, um, he is a, 5-time Gold Glove consecutive winner in the KBO, and he was the MVP in 2022. I was like,
Nice.
"Oh, wow, all right, look at you, go." Um, I have to also correct myself because I was under the impression that Jung Hoo Lee was married. And that
Oh, I thought so too. We got some misinformation
yeah,
from social media.
yeah,
Imagine that.
yes. So Jung Hoo Lee, not married, single. I say single as a Pringle. There is not a relationship that he has put out there. Okay. But I thought that he was married and he was brother-in-laws with Woo Suk-go. Technically, that is true. However, Woo Suk-go is married to Jung Hoo Lee's younger sister. And that is how
Okay.
they're
So his sister can
brother-in-laws.
come watch both of them play. That's still
Yes.
cool.
Yes. So, Jung Hoo Lee is also best friends with Ha Sung Kim of the Padres,
Oh, cool.
and I love that, but
Yeah.
I need to see them at anything together because I feel like the height difference between the 2 is going to be interesting. Yeah. So, Ha Sung Kim is what, like 5'7"? So, I need to see that. Anyhow, like I said, he was never played in the minors, and Ichiro Suzuki is his favorite player of all time, and so therefore he wears a number 51. And when they were doing the like press junket thing where they do the jerseys and all that fun stuff, Bob Melvin was on the phone and they did a little thing, and Bomel is over here saying, "Oh yeah, no, I was so excited. I was so excited to hear that they had signed you. You were the one guy that I wanted them to sign in the off season." And I was like, "Oh, all right. Out of all of the guys, Bomel, like Jung Hoo Lee is the one that you were so excited about." Now, granted, I don't know if that's just, like hearsay or whatever, but Jung Hoo Lee, Bomel's favorite player, wanted him to sign. And then Jung Hoo Lee had said that Bomel was like one of his favorite guys. And then Bob Melvin turned around and said that Jung Hoo Lee was one of his favorite. And I was like, I love this so much.
Just love fest over there.
Love fest. Yeah. So, am I pandering? Yes, absolutely. Is he Korean? Absolutely. Does he have the most beautiful, smooth, Korean skin? Yeah. Also?
Skincare routine from Jung Hoo Lee.
Mhm.
Hair care routine from Tyler Glassnow. This is all I'm asking for.
Yeah, that's all we need. Also, the cutest dog in the entire world.
Oh yeah, it looks fake. It's so cute.
It is a little, like, Pomeranian. I think it's Pomeranian. Is that
I don't even know.
but they're the little teddy bear dogs, and it's freaking adorable, and I can't even, like
Too cute
and
for words.
everyone is saying that, what is Shohei Ohtani's dog's name?
Decoy.
Decoy. Okay, so like they're saying like Decoy and Shohei Ohtani is greater than the Jung-Hoo Lee's dog's name is
Oh,
Cal.
come on. What's his name?
Cal.
Cal.
K-A-O. Cal.
Cal.
Mhm.
That's cute.
And I'm all, you know what? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that because you know what? Like I will take all of the cute dog baseball
Yeah.
content
Yeah.
combined.
All of
Okay,
it.
we're
And we get
nothing
to
is better
see
than
we wanna see all the players' dogs, not just the
yeah.
Dodgers players' dogs, okay?
Okay, I will take all of the dog plus baseball player content, all of
All of
it.
it.
I Dodger, Yankee, Rangers, all of it. I don't care. Uh, How do you not? How do you not want to see that? I want to see that. It's adorable. I want to see it. So yeah, that is Jung-Hoo Lee wrapped up, and I expect this clip in and of itself to get us just sky high on the Korean and Japanese chart, Kelsey, because I don't know how or why we're hanging tough on the Korean and Japanese Apple charts. So
You'll have to
what
see
we're
it.
doing, yeah. So, um, let's jump into ARB cases.
Yes.
Want
So
to
it
do
was
that? Let's do that.
arbitration week. The arbitration deadline came about. And if you are unfamiliar with arbitration, very high level overview of that is there are players between their 3 and 6 year marks of years of service in Major League Baseball. So they've been in the league, they got their 3 years of service time, but they have not yet hit 6 years, which is where they're granted free agency. That's the very basis of it. There are always exceptions, of course, but they hit arbitration, which is where they file at a certain value and the team files at a certain value, and a lot of times they meet somewhere in the middle and they agree on a number, and then that's what they get paid
Yeah.
for.
Then they avoid arbitration
Yes, that's
once
what they
they
get paid
agree
for
on
the
that
next
number.
season. They sign a new contract, and all arbitration eligible players have to deal with that as part of the offseason by this date. But if they do not agree on a number, then they have to go to arbitration, where they go with an arbitrator who is just a supposedly an unbiased person who just sits there and hears their cases for the player, and player's representation says this is why they're worth this. The team says this is why you're worth this. And there is no meeting in the middle. Once you get to arbitration, the arbitrator either sides with the team or with the player. And I do not have hard facts, and this would be interesting to look up on like what percentage of arbitration cases teams win over players. But it does seem like there's a tendency for the teams to win a lot of the time. And this is my theory with that, just real quick, is that, again, really basic idea, is that the arbitrators are lawyers. They are business people. There is no like, they're not usually people who are at all in the baseball world, or even they may know absolutely nothing about baseball.
Right.
So imagine trying to prove your value in your industry, whatever industry you work in, to someone who doesn't work in the industry. And then the owners and the front office for the team, they are business people, so they know exactly how to speak to the business people, is to say like, but here's why their value isn't that to me.
Right.
So it's not a perfect process by any means. It'll be interesting. I think we will see it evolve, and it will not exist the way that it does now, because it causes a lot of weird vibes, bad feelings.
No intangibles here, okay? Intangibles are not assigned a dollar amount.
Yeah.
Good clubhouse guy doesn't equate to more money. Okay. Leadership's like that's not a thing that you get paid more for, just FYI. So we're gonna run through these pretty quickly. There's gonna be some notable ones that we'll hit on, but
yeah, this is not all of them, but there was 23 guys who did not settle in arbitration, and we just took note of a handful of them that kind of stood out to us. That might be players that people have heard of, or just weird findings.
Yeah.
What did you think about Luis Arias of the Miami Marlins, batting title champion? He filed at $12 million versus the Marlins $10.6 million for him.
So for me personally, I knew that the Marlins weren't going to pay him because it's the Marlins, and
right.
But at this point in time, I think that the Marlins should just be like, oh, all right, probably maybe should pay the players that are doing the things that are bringing people into the park.
Yeah, they have a major attendance issue, so you would think that they would hold some value to that.
You would think. So yeah, no, for me personally, I was thinking that the Marlins would be like, okay, cool. Now I don't know which year of arbitration he is at.
Oh, yeah. I
Do you know
don't
that?
know.
Okay. You keep talking about that and I will find that, because
Yeah, well, Jazz Chisholm is another interesting one to talk about in tandem with Luis Arias, because obviously he is also of the Marlins. He filed at 2.9 million versus the Marlins 2.625 million. Again, like $275,000 is what they're going to court over. And I think a lot we see from a lot of fans that are like, how in the world is, a major league team arguing over this kind of money? But ultimately what it comes down to is any player any amount that is filed like that, also it sets the precedent. It changes the market for all players across the board. And I mean, you could also argue that over time, yeah, if they never went to battle for any of these cases and just gave the players the measly $300,000 more, like that, it would add up over time. But from my understanding, for the team, from the team's perspective, it is most important that they do go up over those little amounts so the players don't feel like they can, take an inch, give them a mile sort of thing, and to keep the value of the players as, in their control as they can from ownership. So it's kind of a thing that I would think the owners as a whole have to be on the same page about, which is why like you will see certain teams that go to court, like go to arbitration case, like you're going to be in the room fighting over that. There's no, we're not going to settle it. The Cardinals are one of those teams that just always files and goes for it. But that is because they are highly in control of their finances, and it's a big part of their behind the scenes strategy. So, did you find anything out about Luis
I did
Arias?
not, because my phone wants to be dumb and my internet wants to be dumb, and it's not letting me do any of the things that I want to look up on the interwebs. So
Well, that is a good point, though. Like, tell us about, I guess, what the factor of being in a different year of arbitration versus another would be.
well, so basically the entire reason I wanted to figure out which year it was because the first couple of years, like you said, you build off your further years, build off of the beginning years. So if you start off at a higher number,
This is his third year of ARB, so it's his last year.
last year of ARB before he goes to free agency. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Um so yes, the fact that, you can't it will escalate over time, obviously. That's why I was like wondering. Um because when we get to Mauricio Dubon over here, Mauricio Dubon, Gold Glove winner for the Astros, filed at 3.5, versus the team wanting to pay him 3. Now $500,000 for most people is a drop in the bucket.
You
So
know.
but I was a little shocked and I was a little dismayed, because it's like, how is he getting more than my center fielder, Chas McCormick? Different RBers. Different RBers.
Yeah, and I'm
Mauricio
sorry,
Dubon.
I have to correct myself because Luis Arias will be a free agent in the 2026 season. So he has one
Okay.
more year left of arbitration after
Yeah.
this, which that reads for me.
Yeah.
Yes. So their value, the whole point is your value increases with your years of service, which is something that I do appreciate. It's
Yep.
very challenging to get
Yeah.
get years of service as a Major League
Yes.
Baseball player. So you should absolutely be awarded for it. But yeah, Mauricio Devon was one that stood out to me as well. And then right in line with him, Tommy Edman, another Korean player that we love. Well, he's not a Korean-born player. He actually was the first player who was not Korean-born to play on Team Korea in the World Baseball Classic. He's my favorite player. I fully committed to it. I love Tommy Edman. And he filed at 6.95 million versus the Cardinals 6.5, again, $450,000. The weirdest thing about this to me is that the Cardinals value Tommy Edman a lot.
Yeah.
They overutilize him. They are, again, this is like case in point of their management of him has affected his value and the attention that he gets from the league even.
Mhm.
Like he did not win a Gold Glove the past 2 seasons. I think the last time he won was 2022 or 2021. I might be wrong. Maybe he won in 2022 for second
I would
base.
try and help you out to Google that, but apparently my phone does not want
I
me to
think
do
he
that,
did
so
win in 2022 for second base. I can't remember if it was 21 or 22, but my point being, like, he would be winning a Gold Glove every year, but he's not playing any one position consistently enough. And I know there's that utility Gold Glove, and he was absolutely freaking robbed of that. I love Ha-Seong Kim, but he was robbed. He was robbed because Ha-Seong Kim played like 2 positions a lot and
yeah.
very well. Tommy Edman played like 4 or 5 positions a lot and very well. And just like we were talking about with the level of success that guys are able to find on both sides of the ball because of the consistency, like 162 games, friends and fans, it is a game of consistency. It
Yep.
is a very specific skill set that is not nearly valued enough, in my opinion, in professional sports. Don't get me started with professional entertainment as well, to be able to have that level of versatility because not only is it's not like he's elite in only one spot and then he can like kind of do the other ones. No, no, no. He's elite at all of them and he doesn't miss a beat. So
Yeah.
I
Yep.
I need to breathe.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
take that
and
advice, but
the funny I say the funny thing, the thing with Mauricio Dubon is that he is not an everyday player, and
yeah.
he wants to be an everyday player. I mean, obviously everybody wants to be an everyday player, but there's just no spot for Mauricio Dubon. Tommy Edman is an everyday player. Regardless of
Everyday
where he
player.
plays, they will fill him somewhere.
Mhm.
Like Mauricio Dubon is only, I mean, really should only be utilized as an infielder, but he's not. Excuse me. So the fact that like the rest of these players that are on the list are literally everyday players that you're like why? How? Mauricio Dubon is really the only one that I'm just like, I love you, Doobie. You got a Gold
Yeah.
Glove.
I guess
It's not looking
Vladdy
good
G
though.
is another one that I think like maybe filed a little high. I thought it was funny that he filed at 19.9 million versus the Blue Jays 18.5 for him because it's I felt like he's trying to get that like 1999,
Right.
99.99. It's not 20 million. It's he's playing the mind game there. So I just thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, Adolis Garcia was another one with a pretty substantial difference. He filed at 6.9 after his, postseason stardom last season versus the Rangers 5 million. Not super shocking on the Rangers end there, but you know, it's Adolis Garcia. He made a name for himself. People want to see him get paid and rewarded, even though, again, I know that was kind of a flash in the pan, and that's what they're going to argue. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Jonathan India of the Reds filed at 4 million versus 3.2. So even the Reds, of course, the Reds, I should say, are
Right.
going about over $800,000. This one is the closest one. Casey
Yeah.
Mize, who I don't know anything about, but I just had to call this one out. He filed at $840,000 versus $815,000. So a $25,000 difference that we're going to go to court over. And again, if you are a professional sports fan, you're like, what?
Yeah. Well, and now I want to say that Casey Mize is coming back from TJ. And so I want to say like
Ah,
last season, I don't think he played. Correct me if I'm wrong, people in the comments. Um, but yeah, I want to say he's coming back from TJ. And so big upside, but I think that's part of the issue.
yeah. I
I
mean, I
think.
guess on either side, like I'm just surprised that on both sides that like it's just not that big of a thing. It shouldn't
Yeah.
seem like it should be. So,
I don't know, but and then obviously Juan Soto.
oh yeah,
Juan
we had to
Soto
mention this.
Juan Soto breaks Otani's record for the largest arbitration case or contract at $31 million. Obviously, he had to, break that with that extra
Scott Boras
one.
had to break it. Scott Boras actually breaks Otani's record, is
Yeah.
what this is about. This makes me so mad though, because like, there is no argument that Shohei Otani is a better player than Juan Soto, especially last season.
Yeah.
MVP Shohei Ohtani. There's no way that Juan Soto could even put. I mean, he doesn't play. He doesn't play on both sides of the ball. He plays on both sides of the ball. He doesn't pitch and
Right.
hit. He cannot. There's no way that his value would whatever. I mean, Scott Boras was gonna get it, and he did. So congrats,
Yeah.
Scotty boy. I'm annoyed.
Well, you know that Scott Boras is over here just steaming mad that all of these huge contracts that have been going on have not been Scott Boras clients. Like,
Oh,
like
he's about to take over. He's about to take over the rest of the offseason. He'll have his time.
yeah. And so, let's run through these hot stove
Let's warm up.
headlines. Yes. So the Cubs signed Shota Imanaga for 4 years, $53 million.
The Cubs did something.
Congrats, Cubbies. Congrats.
We knew it.
Do you know the other club that apparently doubled this offer?
Oh, I did see that, and I
Did you
can't remember who it was.
I didn't see who it was.
I'm like,
I
why did you
heard
say
there
it
was
was the Giants? It wasn't the Giants. That's
That
just
would've been
I
so
feel
funny.
bad for the fact that I'm thinking it was the Giants. Let me see if I can tell us about Shota, and I'll see if I
Okay.
can find out real quick.
Yeah, I had heard that there was another an offer that basically doubled this, and it came out that, you know, the contract was gonna be super complex, blah, blah, blah. So, club's option that could make the agreement worth $80 million over 5 seasons, and 8 seasons in the NPB, the Japanese league. He had a 3.18 ERA, more strikeouts than innings pitched with a 9.2 per 9 strikeout rate. So, yay Cubbies, like, congrats to you guys. I'm very happy for you that you didn't sign just a manager this season. And apparently over the weekend, Cubby Fest happened,
Yeah.
and literally all of the players, that's all anybody wanted to talk about. Sign Cody Bellinger. And I'm all,
Yes.
we just signed Shota. Like, come on
Well, did
now.
you see
But
Shota is another one who did he opened his press conference by reciting the lyrics to Go Cubs Go. And
yes,
I was like, okay, I don't care how much I hate the Cubs. Like, this is freaking awesome.
I loved that.
Yeah, I did find out here, according to MLB Network's John Morosi, it is unclear which team was willing to offer him the larger deal, but it was reported that there was a team that offered him more than double. And the 3 other teams that were like considered the candidates for him were the Boston Red Sox, the Giants, and the Angels. So
Oh.
I feel like it was Artie Moreno, actually.
Right. Yeah, it probably was. That's bad. Anyways.
Well, welcome to Chicago.
Yes.
Shota. We've got the Rangers signing my guy, Andrew Kisner, backup catcher for Jonah Heim. He signed at 1 year, $1.825 million, and that is more than the Cardinals were gonna pay him before they non-tendered him. So good for him. He is such a solid guy. I mean, his skill level in terms of working with the pitchers and just being a good teammate overall. He was considered captain of the Cardinals clubhouse just because of the culture that he builds and the kind of teammate that he is. And you know, there is no coincidence that the Cardinals ex-pitching coach, Mike Maddox, who is now over there with the Rangers after other fan bases may not have followed this as closely, but Mike Maddox basically said, like, I am retiring, or I want to take on more of a part-time role with the team, and stepped away from the Cardinals. And then the next thing we know, he signed with the Rangers. So he is from Texas and from that area. So cool for him. But this is absolutely a Mike Maddox stamp of approval move, and awesome for Kiz. I hope he gets a great opportunity there, and he's certainly going to be an asset to that team.
Yay, Rangers.
Susie's like, are we done talking about the Rangers now? Let's talk about Stroh, because we already kind of touched on that.
Do we have to?
We're going to talk about the Yankees too. Yeah.
I do.
Okay, this was crazy because Jonna and I were doing a live episode of Babes, where we went through all 30 teams a few days ago on Thursday night. And we were talking about how she was like, I don't want Marcus Stroman on my team because, you know, Brian Cashman and Marcus Stroman have had words, I guess, via social media, of course. Yes. Cashman said something back in like 2019 about how they did not make effort to trade for him before the deadline because they did not see him as a difference maker for their team. Gee, where have we heard that before? I mean, he said something like that about Jordan Montgomery too, but you know, Jordan Montgomery didn't lash out on social media. Marcus Stroman did. And since then, All of that has been scrubbed from social media. You won't find it. I'm sure somebody's got the screenshots though. And that's Marcus Stroman. That
Yeah.
was actually that's one of the reasons why I knew the Cardinals would not touch him with the 10-foot pole. And you just gotta that's him. That's his personality. There's a learning curve with for guys a lot of times with
Yeah.
that. And to some extent, I don't hate it. I like he is who he is, and I'd rather see that than somebody like ooh, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I shouldn't say it anyway, but there are certain players that they say the right things,
Uh-huh.
but they're saying the right things because they know how to say the right things, but you're like, you're actually a dick. Just ugh. So I like Marcus Stroman for being who he is, and we'll see if he continues to just get to be who he is as much as he can be, wear that do-rag with the Yankees, because he got 2 years, $37 million, with a third year at $18 million, which is contingent upon him hitting 140 innings pitched in the 2025 season. So if he gets 140 innings pitched in 2025, he will automatically qualify for that third year at $18 million. He opted out of his last year with his Cubs contract at $21 million with the Cubs. So more guaranteed money. I thought he would get a little bit more, and people think it's maybe like a Yankees discount, which I just don't get that.
I don't know.
I don't think that's a thing right now. I think at times it has been a thing, but
I don't know.
The one thing that I'll say about this before we move on is that Marcus Stroman is absolutely a guy who will rock the pressure of the pinstripes. So I think we could see him be really successful in a place like Yankee Stadium, because he could definitely handle the pressure, and he will thrive, I think, in an environment like that. So we will see. Interesting move, though. Didn't see it coming.
Side note, production value. I don't even know. I have a new setup, and my camera battery is about to die. So
you're gonna disappear.
If this just randomly stops, you guys know why. And it'll just be a fun learning curve as we go into this. So
I'll finish our hot stove list here, I guess, if I lose you.
Yeah. So but I don't even know, since it plugs into mine. If I stop it, then I don't know what happens. So anyways, now you know. Okay, but here's what I need to know though about all of the Yankee stuff. How much bravado is going to be on the Yankees next season? All of the bravado, all of it, just all of the fuck you, we're the Yankees attitude. Is that what's going to happen right now?
I think they're trying to get that back, clearly. But also they need to sign another starting pitcher. Stroh is a great addition. He's not a Blake Snell addition. So we've heard that they've offered. I'm like, I've heard secretly in my Twitter feed. Oh no, she's gone. Can you hear me, Susie?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah. Amazing. So you're just gonna be my rainbow.
Oh,
you're back? You're back?
I am. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Like I said, production value through the roof, guys. Yeah.
Now you're back. Oh, yeah. This is so interesting. Okay. Well, at least we can hear you. That's what's really important. But I totally forgot what I was saying about
the rainbow just mesmerized you, and you're like, I don't even know any longer.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about the Yankees,
the fuck you value, essentially.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get that back. We heard that they made an offer to Blake Snell. So wait to see on that. I don't think they're done. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely trying to get back there because their fans are not down for, IKF Harrison Bader status. They're like, no, those are not the guys that we're excited to see play. Get them out of here. Give me Juan Soto and Blake Snell.
I will be truly interested to see the attitude and vibes when Marcus Stroman, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, all of those guys all together conglomerated.
Yeah.
But I don't think LeMahieu is going to be one of those guys, but I think we now need Josh Donaldson back on the Yankees just to complete that whole thing. That would be
Yeah,
I would tune into that
yeah, can we get a
just to watch
reality
the shit
TV
talk.
show where, like, Josh Donaldson is, like, the villain, you know, like there is on every season of The Bachelor, like,
Yeah,
Josh Donaldson. Yeah, you're
that's
right. He is the
that's
missing
what I need
piece
to see.
there. Well,
Um,
the Yankees also signed Luke Weaver, who ended the season with them last season. Relief pitcher,
yes. Yep.
starting pitcher. I mean, he's started some too, which I was very confused by. But anyway, he gets a year at $2 million with a club option for 2025. This is his 9th big league season, so some solid veteran presence. He played for the Reds and the Mariners last season as well. Again, ended it in the Bronx, and he made 23 starts last season,
Yeah.
which I missed. That was not on my radar. His ERA was 6.4 as a starter last season, so not great. His career numbers are 27 and 42 with a 5.14 ERA over 574.1 innings pitched in 144 games. So he's been out there doing the work. But
Yeah. Gets blown up.
yeah,
Gets blown up as a starter. As a relief pitcher, he's okay. But the Reds especially used him as a starter, and they were like, "Oh, JK." And then the Mariners were like, "No, we got this." And he went over to the Mariners as a relief pitcher and like brought his ERA down.
yeah.
And then I want to say that he started a couple games for the Yankees and didn't do well. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know what y'all are doing. Don't use Luke Weaver as a starter, guys.
so that experiment, yeah, hopefully is over for poor Luke Weaver. He played for the Cardinals for a time as well. The Brewers, they avoided going to arbitration with their closer, Devin Williams, and good call, Brewers, because come on, after the fit that Corbin Burns threw last season, did you really want to see it happen again with a guy like Devin Williams? No. Williams filed at 7.3 million in arbitration. The Brewers filed at 6.65. Like not really close enough, in my opinion. But the Brewers and Williams ultimately agreed to a $7.25 million deal for next season with a club option for 2025 that is worth $10.5 million, $1 million in escalators in that 2025 contract as well, with a $250,000 buyout. So glad to see that happen for Devin Williams, even if it was a little bit give and take. He's going to get paid just about what he wanted to next year and more in 2025.
Yep. The Cubs and the Dodgers. Are we tired of talking about the Dodgers yet? Because I'm really tired of talking about the Dodgers.
We almost got through a week without having to talk about them, but here they are.
We're almost done talking about the Dodgers. The Cubs and the Dodgers trade the Cubs get left-handed infielder Michael Busch and reliever Yency Almonte for single-A pitcher Jackson Ferris and outfielder Zephyr Hope. The really, truly important thing to note now is the Dodgers now have a Ferris Bueller reference, and that's all I need to know.
They have it all. They have it all. Rude. They have Ferris and Bueller.
Yeah. So, but it'll be interesting to see if Michael Busch actually gets some run time. I know he was blocked in the Dodgers system. So if he will actually be the Cubs third baseman?
I think he could possibly be their third baseman. He's the number 6 prospect, or he was the number 6 prospect in the Dodgers system. He is in AAA or played in AAA last season. And I mean, the Cubs have been looking for a solid starting third baseman all through last season. They had like 3 or 4 different guys out they were running out there. And I really think they are high on trying to make a trade work with the Guardians where that would send Christopher Morel, who is probably their most promising third baseman, to the Guardians. And in their dreams, get Shane Bieber over to Chicago. So if anything like that happens, this leads me to believe they are preparing and hoping for that even more than ever. So keep an eye out for Michael Busch.
Did we talk about the Dodgers also getting freaking Teoscar Hernandez?
We talked about that last week.
Last season. Okay. I'm like, I couldn't remember because the Dodgers have just signed everyone and anyone. And I just,
I think the news broke last week, so we covered it, but it was technically, I think he signs just on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the Dodgers got Teoscar Hernandez yet, in case we didn't mention it.
Whatever.
Moving on. The
So
San
I'm so
Francisco
over the
Giants did
Dodgers.
another thing, so we can talk
Yeah.
about them now. The San
Okay.
Francisco Giants signed right-handed pitcher Jordan Hicks, who was one of the hardest throwing pitchers in the league, former Cardinal, traded to the Blue Jays at the deadline. They signed him for 4 years, $44 million, and apparently they're going to give him a go as a starting pitcher, which I honestly love. There were so many Cardinals fans that were like, nope, tried and tested, failed. Good luck, Giants. Listen, Jordan Hicks is another example of, and the Cardinals are not the only organization to do this. I just happen to follow them and have seen it firsthand a little bit more. He made 8 starts in 2022, and it literally was like in the middle of the season, or maybe like a week into the season.
Right.
This season had already started when they were like, we're going to try to make you a starter. Okay. The fact that he's going to have a whole spring training, he has the mindset, he's going to get a real opportunity to do it. And I believe it was Friday that Cardinals closer Ryan Helsley, who again is one of the only other guys that throws anywhere near where Jordan Hicks does on a regular basis, 103, 104, you're going to see in every one of their outings. He spoke to it on the Foul Territory show, and I actually got to interact with him a little bit, ask him a question via the live chat there. So that's a really cool opportunity that you have daily over on the Foul Territory show if you have yet to check that out. But he spoke to that and it's just cool to get insight from a guy
I
who
have
has
to interrupt. I have to interrupt right now because Kelsey is humble enough that she's not going to brag on herself. So I'm going to just have to fucking do it for her. I don't know if you know this, guys, but Scott Braun, who is one of the co-hosts of Foul Territory over there, recognized Kelsey on the broadcast and was like, "Oh, this question comes from Kelsey Bird, who puts out some really great baseball content." I'm sorry, but what now? Say that one more time. Like I would just make that a replaying like video GIF on my phone and just be like, "I don't know if you know this, guys. Okay, I don't know."
One time, Susie, I did a production of Into the Woods, and I played one of the main roles in that show, and the review said that I was sheer perfection, and that is still, I think that was like 5 years ago, at least 5 or 6 years ago, and to this day, I mean, at least once a week, it comes up in my house of my husband or I being like, sheer perfection, some may say. So don't worry. We won't forget it anytime soon.
So if in case you guys weren't aware, how amazing Kelsey is as my co-host, I'm gonna just let you know because apparently Scott Brown knows that Kelsey is a fucking amazing person and co-host. So didn't know.
And he helped me talk to Ryan Helsley. He facilitated my conversation with Ryan Helsley, which was really cool. But anyway, they are doing just daily content the way baseball should be covered over there at Foul Territory. So if you haven't heard about it, check it out because we love them and apparently they love us too. So cool. But yeah, Jordan Hicks, I'm excited to see him get the opportunity to start, and I can't speak to it the way that someone, again, like Ryan Helsley can, so that's why I bring it up. But if you think this is like totally out of left field, go check out that interview with him because he gives some good perspective to it and some adjustments that he might have to make here and there. And I'm really excited to see how it could play out. I think the Giants have had an unconventional approach to starting pitching, to say the least, for the last few seasons. And why not throw Jordan Hicks in there and give him a shot? He has a certain level of talent and, again, a skill set that they just got to find the right avenue for.
Yeah, and it was apparently the rumors were out that the Astros were linked to Jordan Hicks as, part of our relief pitching in our bullpen, because obviously we've lost Hector Neris and Phil Maton and Ryan Stanek. And so when I saw that, I missed the whole going to convert him to a starter and just saw like
and you were just like,
the dollar amount, and I'm all, oh, absolutely not, because last season we gave Rafael Montero Jr. a 3-year contract, and it was just stupid, and I was like, absolutely not. There's no way that the Astros were going to pay a relief pitcher 4 years for $44 million. And then but converting to a starter, if this experiment works, that is like steal of a deal. Steal of a
Yeah,
deal.
I think it's a win-win because I thought Jordan Hicks might wait for Josh Hader to sign because he is arguably the second best reliever on the market other than Hader. And
I don't know. I think Harry
knowing that
Maris
Hader
might have some words for you, Kels.
he's probably gonna end up with the Cardinals, so we'll see. But yeah, I thought Hader's quest to get overpaid surely might help set Hicks's value, even if just a little bit higher.
Right.
But this is obviously, I think he probably had kind of him and his representation probably had two different ways that they were going about it. And Helsley was saying that Hicks has always wanted the opportunity to start and get a bona fide chance to be a starter. So good for him.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
The Reds are sneaky, making all kinds of moves. Like I did not see the Reds being so active in the offseason, but good on your Reds. I'm excited to watch you guys next season because they signed left-hand pitcher Brent Suter for 1 year, $2.5 million, with a $3.5 million club option for 2025 with its $500,000 team buyout. I'm so excited. Like, he grew up a Reds fan and is from Cincinnati. That like hometown boy gets to go back. I love all of these.
Pumped. And he's such like a down to earth dude. Seems like such an awesome teammate. He has
from the Rockies, right?
He was, yes. Who was he with before? He got picked up by the Rockies mid-season. He was with the Brewers before then.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was DFA'd by the Brewers and picked up off waivers by the Rockies. But yeah, so cool. I mean, he's so pumped. He adds an element of versatility to their bullpen that my Reds fan, my go-to Reds fan, John, brought this up on our live stream the other night because it like happened while we were, or the same day that we were recording, and I kind of missed it. But yeah, to your point, the Reds are raising the bar for the Central Division the same way that the Cubs are, and I'm here for it because it's just another reason why I need the Cardinals organization to look at this and say, like, it's not enough just to skis into the playoffs every year. That's not going to happen anymore with the way that these teams are more committed to being competitive than they have been in quite a while. So
I'm so excited. Once all of the free agents like actually sign and like go to their respective places, I'm so excited to go over like these teams and do like a team ranking kind of deal because that I've been on the Reds pitching staff for the last 2 seasons, like for fantasy baseball. Side note, do you want to do fantasy baseball?
I've never done fantasy baseball before, and I would, since you don't have rules and you might judge me less, like I'll do it.
Yes.
I would do it. I would do it with you. I feel like
I love this. Okay.
The right person to introduce me to it.
Okay, guys. So if you are a lady and wants to do fantasy baseball with us, and you don't get your feelings hurt, come talk to me. Come slide into my DMs so that we can chat about this fantasy baseball. But I have been on the Reds pitching staff for my fantasy teams for the last 2 seasons, and they have gotten me all kinds of points, all kinds.
Yeah.
So depending on, and we'll go over this, but depending on like the league, you get various points depending on like what categories you put in, and strikeouts are a huge thing in my league. So you don't want ground ball pitchers.
Yeah.
Ground ball pitchers,
Noted.
contact guys. You don't want them. Okay. Blake Snell, probably not your favorite guy.
No,
okay.
Not going with him.
Strikeout pitchers. Strikeout pitchers are the guys. So Hunter Green would routinely, like when he was on, would give me so many points.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see this young Reds team.
Yeah. They're definitely ones to watch.
Yeah.
Speaking of who's not going to be with the Reds, Joey Votto, we've already expressed our disgust is a strong word. Like, whatever. I get it, Reds.
Sadness,
Joey Votto, career Red.
Yeah.
Free agent for the first time in his career. And I think you talked about maybe last week or the week before how he tweeted out how he, being a free agent was like being lost in space in the movie Gravity, and he needed George Clooney to come and save him. And us as a baseball fan community were like, Joey Votto, we will all save you. Like, someone save Joey Votto. Good news is 4 teams are reportedly interested in Joey Votto. So all I really care at this point is that we're going to see him play baseball in 2024.
Yeah. Also the fact that he tweeted out a Care Bear GIF for this news, just Joey Votto, I love you so much. If for some reason you hear this and you want to come talk to us and be the featured like most interesting man in baseball, by all means, we would love that.
We will sell you to all 30 teams.
Absolutely.
I will do my best.
You can teach me how to play chess, okay? Like, and maybe do TikTok. I don't know.
He is probably the best current Major League Baseball player as a social media follow. So get on it if you don't follow Joey Votto.
But really, landing spot, I want Joey Votto to go whip the White Sox clubhouse into shape.
Yep, we have committed to that. Joey Votto is going to be the leader. He is like the biggest completed puzzle piece for the White Sox cultural rebuild. Make it happen, Chris Getz.
Or the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, another team that we're seeing they might be more likely to spend. I mean, not that you're gonna have to spend as much money on somebody like Joey Votto, but you should.
You should.
Somebody make that investment.
Anyways, so we're gonna end with the last bit of news, but it's not apparently been. The club hasn't put it out, but everybody else has put it out, so we're gonna report on it. So the Marlins said goodbye to
Kim Ng.
I was like Rachel Ng. That's not it. They said goodbye to Kim Ng, and they hired Rachel Balkovich.
Well, Kim Ng was their GM, and they basically I can't remember if we talked about that. I think we talked about this when it happened. They wanted to hire a president of baseball operations over her, and she opted out of her contract because she was kind of like, "Are you kidding me? That basically makes me an assistant GM again, and I've already done that for 20 years, and I'm freaking Kim Ng, and the reason that your team was in the playoffs this past season was because of me. But it's fine. I'll go take my talents elsewhere. So good for her.
Yes.
But also good for Rachel Balkovich. Tell us about her.
Is it so there's no H on the end of that? It's Balkovich?
I don't think so. It is said Balkovich.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Very sorry, Rachel, if we mispronounced your name. Come on the show. Tell us how you say your name. But she is now the director of player development, which we like. Good for you. The Astros actually had a lady, Sarah Goodrum, that was player development.
Nice.
No longer, but so
okay. So she is not the first woman farm director.
Correct. But I guess Marlins were like, hey, you know what? We lost a lady. Now we must hire another lady.
I did see a lot of takes that the Marlins are trying to save face here, blah blah blah, and
yeah. And I'm like,
sad if it's true, whatever. That's not the thing that we need to focus on in terms of this hire, because this person is wildly qualified, and she is actually far more qualified than many other men who have held this position. So
absolutely,
even talking about the fact that she is a woman, and I'm sure she's more sick of it than anybody. But yeah, she was the first full-time manager who was a woman for a major league affiliated team. She was with the Tampa Tarpons. The Tarpons?
Mm-hmm.
What is a tarpon? Must be a type of fish.
It is. It is a type of fish. It's kind of like a swordfish.
Ah, okay. I dig it.
Kind of like a swordfish.
Tampa Tarpons from 2022 to 2023. So she leaves the Yankees organization to come on over and take on this new position with the Marlins. And this is very much part of her trajectory to ultimately work in the front office, because her ultimate goal is to be a GM and a president of baseball ops, whatever. Because according to her, she gave a great interview, and I believe this was on Foul Territory, but it was a while ago. It was probably almost a year ago at this point, where she talked about how she wants to actually have the effect on how the team is built and have the most, overall hand in making up an impactful roster. And that it kind of gave you some unique insight into the inner workings of most current major league teams these days, of where, she straight up said, like, that's not the manager. It's the GM.
Love that.
I believe it.
Love that.
So very cool for her.
Side note, We didn't. I say we're gonna end on this because I totally forgot to put it in the notes. Did you see that Alex Anthopoulos got extended
He did. I hope
till
they must have bought
2031?
out that island.
2031.
2031.
That's such a random year. I'm like, oh, all right. It's 2031. He will be the Atlanta Braves GM, and is it GM? Is he president of I don't remember.
I
The
don't know
guy
what his exact title is,
the
but
guy who makes the decisions on who goes where and how much they get paid and all of that fun stuff, and he
president
hasn't.
of Anthopoulos Island. Yes.
Yes. Um, I need to know. I need to know how big the murder board is, um, and how big the Fountain of Youth for that is.
Apparently, we
But
got 8 more years to try to figure it out, at least.
yeah. Congrats, Braves. I feel like Braves fans are super happy about this
Yeah, why not?
because
I mean,
they're
look what he's done so far.
all of the things, all of them.
It will be really fun 8 years from now, Susie, when we're still sitting here talking about Anthopoulos Island, if that narrative changes at all, because there are oh man, it's just so
Does
funny.
he have to give 1% of his contract back?
That was a question I was asking, and I saw people asking that on Twitter as well. So Braves organization, let us know if you own a piece of the Braves, public money, let us
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I will be interested to see if he stays in good favor over such a long tenure, because
Yeah.
that is very challenging for baseball executives and leadership of any kind to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's about all of the news around the leagues. I'm sure we've missed, tiny moves here and there. Kyle Tucker got married over the weekend. Kyle Tucker got
Oh yeah,
married on
congrats,
Saturday.
Kyle Tucker.
Yes, our king. Side note, Alex Bregman was not at the wedding.
Ooh,
I was
interesting.
like, what's that about? What's that
Jackson
about? No.
Holiday, I think, got married last weekend,
Oh,
and he's 20. He's
yeah.
20. But
He is
anyway,
a
like
lady.
all the Ollie Marmol was there, Adam Wainwright was there, Matt Carpenter was there, Matt Holiday obviously is his father, so all of these, Cardinals royalty at the Jackson Holiday wedding. So
That
watch out, Orioles. The Cardinals might pay for Jackson Holiday, or his dad
precious.
might take a hometown discount. I thought that I mean, obviously he's still very connected with the organization,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize it was like that.
Oh yeah.
Come to my son's wedding. So
Fun thing. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know what's happening over there everyone's like, oh, but Alex Bregman wasn't there. Altuve wasn't there, and I was like, guys, not everybody can come to everybody's wedding. Okay,
yeah,
come on.
and not all of them have to be best friends. I mean, it's just like with any coworkers. Like you have 2 or 3 coworkers that you would consider like friends outside of work, maybe if you're lucky, and then
Yeah.
there's 30 more, but they're not people that you're going to invite to your wedding. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah. So I'm like, I needed to see the Ryan Stanek view with Kyle Tucker, and I did not see that, and I'm very sad about it. But other rumor mill, if Hector Neris goes to Cardinals, I'll be very thrilled. I will be thrilled for the Cardinals, because apparently Hector Neris is linked to the Yankees and the Rangers, and neither team I'm going to be happy about.
The Cardinals are usually pretty good about staying out of any rumor mills, so they just end up like, oh, they did it. They were never really on the radar. So I wouldn't be surprised. And I think he's a good target for what they say they are looking to
Let's hope.
add. So
because if Hector Neris ends up on the Yankees or the Rangers, I'm gonna have to fight. I will have to fight Yankee people all the time if he ends up in the Yankees.
We're gonna have to put that on the Patreon.
That's that
per view versus Yankees and Rangers fans.
That will be delightful. So, Kelsey, tell the people where they can find you on the socials.
Yeah, the best place to find me for constant baseball content is on Twitter forever at Kbird Tweets. And then I almost said kbirdtweets.com. That's not a thing yet, but maybe it should be. At Kbird Tweets, that's BURD. Kbird Tweets. My link tree is there, so that'll take you to, whatever podcast platform you want to listen to, Bourbon and Baseball or Babes, or Peace, Love, and Baseball, which is my solo podcast that I put out every Tuesday. And, we're on Instagram and Facebook as well. But if you find that link tree, you find me everywhere you want to be.
Yes. So go listen to Kelsey because she puts out good baseball content. Scott Brown says so.
So I hear.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Still holding strong in Korea and Japan. I don't know how or why you guys found the podcast, but we appreciate you so much. Holding strong on the Apple Podcasts. Yeah, if this was Zoom, though, that would make hearts and,
It
like
would?
exploding hearts. Yeah.
Oh, Zoom.
Uh-huh.
It's a little
Yeah.
creepy.
Not so much on the StreamYard, but on
Mhm.
Zoom, you do that, and then, like, if you do, like, the thumbs up, it also does something, but yeah, yeah. Not over here on StreamYard, though. Not over
I
here.
mean, that's a little busy. I don't know how I feel about that.
And it's, like, exploding hearts too or something.
Wow.
So, like, when you do, like, the heart hands, it does anyways. So, America, United States, where are you peoples? I need you to get on this, please and thank you. I would really appreciate that. I need someone to invest heavily into my baseball content career so that I can just do this full time. Come on now. Like, love that for us. So leave
Thoughts on
all
that
of
list?
the please, golly.
He's looking to put money in really different creative spots, so
I'm just
maybe he's
saying.
our guy.
Just saying. So if you have not yet, please leave a 5-star rating. Leave us a written review. We would love that. Hit subscribe on the YouTubes. Okay? I would love that. Please and thank you. I don't know where the actual subscribe button on the
It's
YouTubes is, but it's
it's,
like
like,
red
right under the
somewhere.
video.
Yeah.
Pretty easy to find.
Do it though. Okay? Tell your
Not gonna
friends.
spam you with anything, it's just gonna make sure that you know when we put something new out. It's
Yeah.
like
Come on
when
now.
you come to YouTube. No,
Exactly.
no big
Like
deal.
like it just sends you like little like notification, hello, hello, new things. So with that, we are going to say goodbye and good night. I'm not going to say good night because it's not the
Good
nighttime,
day.
but I am going to say goodbye. We're going to hit end stream and yay, baseball.